Meanwhile, what a big number. I was going to say what a morning it was, but what a number it was as well on the economy this morning. That jobs report revealing employers added 164,000 new jobs last month. Unemployment holding steady at a record low territory, 3.7%. And here's a look at the Dow right now, down 200 points. A lot of this feeding into expectations, and got the interest rate cut this week, and a lot of stuff that the market's responding to this morning. Let's go to the White House. Our headliner is ready for us, Hogan Gidley, White House Deputy Press Secretary. Hogan, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I'm sure the White House would like to take a victory lap on yet another strong jobs report.
Well, you know, I often get asked by members of the media and people outside the administration, how are you doing? And I always say, I'm tired, but I'm never tired of winning. And today is a perfect example of that. Another victory, not just for this president and the affirmation of his policies, but it's a victory for the American people. We now have more jobs available than people to fill them. More people are employed in this country than ever before. We know the numbers of record unemployment for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women employed at record numbers for the first time in like 70 years. I mean, this is all in a testament to what this president has done with the massive tax cuts, restructuring the tax code, deregulation, getting government out of the way and allowing the American people to thrive. This is what it's about, and you're seeing the results of his policies today.
Sorry, Sandra, go ahead.
Go.
There are some headwinds. It's pretty clear. Let's get to some of them right now. Chuck Schumer supporting the battle against China. Let's move to that topic. But first, Chuck Schumer from Capitol Hill yesterday.
We have to be really tough on China. They've taken advantage of us. America has lost trillions of dollars and millions of jobs because China has not played fair. And being tough on China is the right way to be.
So we have heard from several Democrats. Dan Kildee from Flint, Michigan was on Fox Business yesterday. He's making the case that they've ripped us off to the tune of trillions of dollars. You're getting agreement on this across party lines. That's the point to be made. The second point to be made, and that's a question, is of whether or not you can get to a deal. And right now, Hogan, it just appears on the outside that this is going to be very stubborn. Can you say today whether or not you can get it done before the next election?
Right. Well, reversing decades worth of the American worker, the American businessman, American industry, American companies being taken advantage of by China is not going to happen overnight. This president has come in and called out what we know to be the case about what China's been doing, whether it's forced technology transfer or technology theft. This is what everyone across the globe understands and recognizes. But this is the first time a president has come in and said, no more are you going to take advantage of the American people. He's standing up for that.
Right, and you've seen the progress that's been made here at home with the U.S. economy.
Sure.
But are you going to step on your own success?
Well, look, no, the president has been very clear. China wants to make a deal. He has a great relationship with President Xi. We had a deal in place. The problem was at the last minute they came back and tried to renegotiate that deal. And we understand that, but the president said he's not going to sign a bad deal. And they also promised a couple things, that they would buy more ag products, protecting our farmers. They haven't done that. And so the president said, okay, this is taking a little long here. We want to put some more pressure on you guys, and it doesn't hurt us at all. It makes China actually contribute when they haven't been doing it for a long time, and it's a testament again to what this president understands as a businessman and someone who gets what the economy needs to be spurred on. 2020
candidates are reacting to the president's move on China. Elizabeth Warren saying this: we absolutely must be tough on China, but this haphazard approach of tariff by tweet is hurting American farmers, she makes the case, and consumers. There's no coherent plan beyond more and more escalation. I just wonder if you could bring this back home, because the president promised that this fight was going to translate to more jobs, better economy, more manufacturing back here at home. We just talked to the head of the Democratic Party in Ohio. He's making the case that this is not an economy that's benefiting all Americans. He pointed to pockets within Ohio that have not seen the promises that the president made follow through. How do you respond to that? And we've heard some of that on the stage this week at those debates.
All right, well, we're not going to take a lecture on economics from an avowed socialist like Elizabeth Warren, who systematically wants to erode all of the successes and gains we've seen in this administration. She wants to roll back all of the tax cuts and tax you at home more, take more money out of your paycheck. She wants to fight the president at every turn, and I understand that. She's on the left, and she doesn't like success for all Americans. She wants to pick winners and losers like socialism does. But the fact is the president is going to continue down this path because this path has clearly been proven to be successful. She doesn't like it, and I understand that, but when your agenda is making America socialist, when you want infanticide, when you want open borders, you're standing up for anti-Semitic comments, which the left is doing, it's very problematic to try and push those policies. Instead, she's trying to erode what this president has done and socialize and take over, rather, a complete government approach to health care. It's not going to work, and the president knows it.
We'll see how those debate lines come down. Quick lightning round on a number of topics, okay? First, what's the message to Russia? You're withdrawing from a nuclear deal now that was established by Ronald Reagan. What's the message to Putin?
Well, it was a Cold War era deal, as you just pointed out, and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo made the point. This is all on Russia. They had the chance to come forth and work in this treaty to actually let us in to inspect. They did not. NATO stands with us. Our partners and allies agree that it's right to pull out of this deal, and so we're out.
Do you fear an arms race at this point forward?
I don't. The president has a good relationship with Vladimir Putin, but again, it's another instance where this administration has been tougher on Russia than has anybody else. Okay,
on Baltimore here at home, what do you gain from having this back and forth with Elijah Cummings?
Listen, the President of the United States has always told the truth. He's done it in this instance as well. For so long, people of Baltimore and around the region have said, I wish someone would draw attention to the poverty, to the crime, to the infestation of rodents in that town. And finally, this president does, and somehow they're saying, no, that's not right. Even people on the left, when Bernie Sanders called it a third world country, Representative Elijah Cummings said it was drug infested. Everyone knows there's been a problem in Baltimore, but this president not only is calling it out, he's put forth plans to fix it. Whether it's opportunity zones, many of which are in Baltimore, whether it's criminal justice reform, massive influx of cash into HBCUs, this president understands there's a problem. He's the president of all Americans, and he's lifting all those boats in the process.
One last question on that before we move down to the border, but does the president have any plans to travel to Baltimore?
I don't want to get ahead of what we may or may not do, but the president recognizes the issue there. We've talked about it, and he's considering all those options because he wants the people of this country to understand
Does he believe that's something that he should do?
There.
Does he believe that's something he should do, step in?
Well, look, he does a lot of things for a lot of different communities, and pointing out the problem is part of it. Using that bully pulpit to expose the rampant corruption in that city is important, and he's going to try to fix it in the ways I just mentioned.
Are Democrats at the border to see the impact of the president's policies? What can you tell us about that? What are they seeing?
Well, it's interesting the Democrats are on the border considering they're on vacation for the next 6 weeks. This president has been talking about fixing this, has done everything within his legal authority. We got a major Supreme Court ruling last week that allows us to free up some of that money to build the wall. Not to mention the fact we now have an agreement with Mexico and a safe third agreement, actually, with Guatemala. So those two countries are doing more to protect the American people and American communities than are the Democrats. So for them to go down there and say they're outraged, that's fine. But you voted against the funding many times, and you still offered not one single solution to the problem. I'm glad you recognize it. I'm glad you found Jesus, but it's time to fix the problem, and they're nowhere to be found.
23 House Democrats are down there today. Thank you, Hogan. Wasn't quite a lightning round. Maybe Chris Wallace would call it a rolling thunderstorm, but nonetheless, thank you for coming back here today on this Friday.
All right. Hogan,
absolutely. Thanks so much.